Hello my friends and welcome back to my channel, Joyful Jessie. If you are new here, I am Jessie. In today's video, I am simply going to be showing you how to make another Puerto Rican classic, and that is empanadas. So make sure to stick around and watch. An empanada is a half moon shaped appetizer. We can call it lunch, we can call it a snack, and it's deep fried and has a nice crunchy outside while it's stuffed with delicious savory meat in the inside. There are so many different varieties of this, and there's many Latin American countries that have their own version of empanadas. This is simply my recipe, and you can go ahead and take this recipe and tweak it and change it and add and take away as much as you'd like according to your taste and liking. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. These are the ingredients that we are going to be using today to make our empanadas. We are going to need our empanada discos or dough. You can find these in the frozen Goya section of your store, and they have 6-inch or 5-inch, and sometimes they have the ones that bring sazon on it, which would make them orange, or they have the plain ones like this one. I'm simply going to go with a plain one, and they bring about 10 discs, and at my store they were $2.59. You are going to need about 1 packet of sazon, half a can of tomato sauce, 1 or 2 teaspoons of oregano, 1 or 2 teaspoons of adobo. We're gonna use about 2 tablespoons of sofrito. If you would like to see how is it that I make my sofrito, go ahead and click on the link above so that you can see my recipe. We are going to need, if you like olives, I'm gonna be using olives. We're gonna be needing about, I'd say 1 or 2 tablespoons, and I like to slice them in half. We're also going to need 1 pound of ground meat. And I have fresh garlic over here that I always like to use my garlic press to add to my. All right, my friends, we are first going to start by putting our fire up to about a medium high. Then we are going to take a little bit of oil, and we are simply going to add some to the bottom of our pan, not too much. I completely forgot to mention, you guys, in the list of ingredients that I do use half of an onion. Here it is, half of an onion. I'm gonna go ahead and toss it in there. I'm going to add, my olives that I have sliced in half, sofrito, and I'm going to add my 2 tablespoons of them, heaping tablespoons, because sofrito is amazing. It gives a really good taste. Also add half of my tomato sauce in there, half a teaspoon of oregano. I'm gonna start with 1 teaspoon of adobo, and then we'll see when the meat gets in there if we have to adjust. I'm going to be adding my 3 garlic cloves using my garlic press. Then I'm going to go ahead and add my meat. You can also add little itty bitty diced potatoes to this if you'd want. People put so many things in it, peppers, however you would like, whatever you would like to have inside your empanada. Break it apart. Ooh, I forgot my sazon. Sazon, my friends. We're gonna let it simmer on the stove. I'm gonna say for maybe about 3 to 5 minutes until the meat is completely browned. It's been about 4 minutes now, and this is what our meat is looking like. So it's been browned. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give it a little taste just to make sure that we don't need any more adobo. I feel like we do. So I'm gonna add, I'd say about another teaspoon in there. Taste now. Definitely much better. So what I'm going to do now is, with the lid, I'm gonna cover it, and I'm going to take my fire and put it all the way on low, and I'm going to let it do its thing, absorb all those delicious flavors and seasonings for about 10 minutes. I'm gonna say 10 to 15 minutes or so. So while our meat is cooking, I'm gonna talk to you guys a little bit about like what gluten-free alternatives do I have when it comes to empanadas, because I absolutely love the taste of empanadas. I love the filling in them. Unfortunately, 9 years ago, I had to join a gluten-free diet because of the issues that I was having after I became a mom. So I'm gonna have to talk to you guys about that. But while the meat is cooking, these are, like I said, the dough that you are going to need, the discs for the empanadas. And these are made out of wheat flour, so they are not gluten-free. And I've tried to do my own like gluten-free dough, and I just haven't gotten that. I don't know, there needs to be a certain elasticity for it, and that gluten-free dough, the gluten-free flour just doesn't have. That's what makes regular flour, you know, what it is. That gluten thing makes it a little elastic and stuff. So my alternative to that is this here, my friends, tortillas, corn tortillas. I buy the big one. I live on these things. I love this stuff. So what I do is when our meat is done, and I'll probably make another video showing you guys that. After our meat is done, I take out some meat for myself, and then I'll make the empanadas for my family. Now for me, what I will do is I'll do a quesadilla with the meat filling inside. And it is delicious. It is so good. And we eat a lot of quesadillas at home. Maybe I'll make a video on how I make my quesadillas, because a lot of people make their quesadillas with flour tortillas, and I do not do them with that. We almost never buy flour tortillas, and it is fabulous. Stick around for my next video, because I'm definitely going to be showing you guys how is it that I make my gluten-free alternative to empanadas whenever I get that hankering. But you know, can't have the nice crunchy fried dough, floury dough. What's the alternative that I do, and I still get that good satisfaction for it. Now let's go check on our meat, because I think it's gonna be that time. Now and look at this deliciousness. OMG. Fantastic flavor. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn it off now. I have a little bowl here that I'm gonna use to put my meat, because I don't want the grease or the juices of that, so I kind of want to strain it a little bit. I'm gonna put it in here. Look how yummy that looks. All right guys, so constructing these are gonna be very, very easy. I'm gonna have a spoon on my meat. I'm gonna be using a fork to press close my corners. I have this parchment paper on top of my counter just because the dough is nice and soft and I don't want it to stick onto there. Plus I want a clean surface to work on. And I'm also putting a plate with some of the parchment paper because again, it keeps it from sticking to the plate. 1 or 2 spoonfuls of meat. And I put it right on the center. And you're gonna take the little corners, pinch them like so. Then you're gonna take your fork and you are simply going to pinch it down. I remember making these from scratch when I was a youth in my church. We used to do fundraisers, and empanadas are always like awesome fundraisers to make. And I remember doing these, and I remember we used to do meat ones. We used to do pizza ones. We used to do guava paste ones with cheese. And then you are simply going to turn it over and do the same. You don't want them to open up. I've used water in between these sometimes when I feel like the dough is not as nice and sticky. I put water. And that helps too. are done stuffing our empanadas, we're going to go ahead and put our burner up to, I'm gonna say, a medium high. Now I'm going to take some canola oil and I'm going to place some on whatever is the pan that you are going to be using. Now, let me see. I'm putting about, I'm gonna say, an inch or so of oil. Now, empanadas are best to be eaten freshly fried. So I'm not frying all of these empanadas right now. Since my kids are eating these for lunch, I'm only gonna be frying about 3 of them, 2 for my son, 1 for my daughter. I'm going to be then putting saran wrap over the rest of them and putting them in the refrigerator. I'll make some for my husband whenever he gets home, and then I'll be sharing some with my mom. So now they should be done. Let's see, the oil should be ready now. Let me see, is the oil ready? Yes, it is. You see how it bubbles up? Now we're only going to be frying these for about 2 to 3 minutes on each side until it's golden brown. Since the inside is already cooked, you really don't need to do much cooking on the inside. So 2 to 3 minutes on each side, then flip, then take out onto a plate that has either paper towel or parchment paper on it. Yeah, you like it?
It tastes pretty good and I like it.
Yeah, tastes really good and you like it?
Yum. That's good.
Now is your turn to give it a try. Thank you so much for watching, and please remember to like and subscribe. I'll see you next time. Bye!